Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the American Tier 8 Premium Tank Destroyer, the NM-116 Panserjager. Now this Panserjager is... it's basically OP. It is OP. It's such a good tank that it just eclipses most of the tank destroyers at Tier 8. Because the camo is unbelievably dirty. The DPM is insane, the penetration is fantastic, 280 alpha is nice on such a fast-firing stealthy tank destroyer. The view range is not as good, but quite frankly you're a turreted tank destroyer at Tier 8, generally they're not. But everything about this tank is just generally quite phenomenal, because you are basically a chaffy, but as a tank destroyer. And that means that you can just do light tanky things, but then also do the tanky destroyer things as well. And this tank is honestly absolutely phenomenal. It's such a fun tank to play. It's hella worth picking up when it comes back into stock, because it's just ridiculous. It's a really, really ridiculously good tank. And this is the tank that, for me, eclipses the TVP 100, you know, the Czech Shrek tank, the SHPTK TVP, that tank destroyer, because that tank destroyer is very, very similar to this Panserjager, but this Panserjager does basically what that tank does, but better, and you have, well, with the Czech tank, you have, like, what, 5 degrees? No, it's 7 degrees of gun depression, isn't it? 7 degrees of gun depression, whereas with this, you have 10 degrees, and the 10 degrees of gun depression helps you work ridge lines like this very, very easily, and also, this is a very small frame, whereas the Shrek tank is quite a big frame. But they basically do the exact same job, pretty much, of having that really good concealment, really fast-firing gun, and, you know, just shred very, very quickly. Because this tank does absolutely shred its opponents. And it's just a massive strength. And it really doesn't care about the matchmaking either, because, quite frankly, you have the penetration, you have the gun accuracy, you have the shell velocity, you have that absolutely unbelievable stealth. You don't have any armour, but, quite frankly, you're not supposed to be in a brawl, so you're not supposed to have the armour. I mean, stuff like this Draugen, this poor Draugen, like, he is learning the hard way that Panserjager wrecks very, very quickly. And, oh, we get unlucky there that we don't actually shut down that... well, okay, we tracked him and then we did shut him down. Yeah, you see there with shots like that how quickly you wreck things. And like I said, because of the pen, the camo, the mobility, everything, really this tank doesn't care about being bottom tier. And you can have just as... in fact, you can have even better games and more fun in a bottom tier matchup than you can in a top tier matchup because, well, to be quite frank, you can absolutely trash things and there's more HP for you to farm. It is what it is. So in terms of a crew on the old Panserjager, I do run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise, Muffled Shot, and Silent Driving. I run all the camo perks to make the camo on this tank as filthy as humanly possible because it is pretty damn filthy. So I want to make it as good as I can do to just be able to milk it as much as possible. Like having Silent Driving, for instance, makes it so that I'm more like a light tank by reducing my camo on the move by 55%. I've got the Camouflage Expertise to make my camo 10% more better, and Muffled Shot just to help me stay unspotted in a fair few other situations when I fire, essentially by reducing the effect on firing on my camo. Then I run Steady Aim to make the gun 10% more accurate, and Run and Gun just to make the tank more accurate while on the move, because I do tend to take some shots on the move here and there when I've moved out from my tank destroyer positions and stuff like that. And I generally want to make it better like that. But realistically, if you do play it more like a tank destroyer as well, in general, which is the way you should be playing it, and you do just find a position, sit there and fire and fire and fire, you might want to run Snapshot instead of Run and Gun because you want to make the accuracy on turning the turret better as opposed to on the move. But that's personal preference, completely down to you. And in terms of equipment, I run Rammer, Optics, and the Camo Net. Camo Net, again, to make my camo just better all round, to absolutely milk how good the camo is on this tank, because you can get it down to 212 meters of still concealment with this build that I have told you just about, and it's only 234 on the move, which is still absolutely filthy. And it's better than a lot of light tanks at Tier 8 as well, by the way, which is, again, filthy. And yeah, so you want to make your DPM 10% better with rammer, optics to be able to make yourself spot for yourself, because you only have 370 meters view range, which is, again, naturally what you want to make better with situational awareness, born leader, and optics, because you don't want to be blind, because you want to be able to outspot the things by a long distance and then use your camo to farm them, as opposed to just having pure camo and then by the time you've actually spotted someone, they're within range of spotting you anyway if you do fire, you know. So that's what I run on the Panserjager, and in this first game on Sand River, we are against tier 10s. We're up to 3k damage with 98 assistance, and we're just sticking about in this middle area of Sand River, trying to help our team where we can. As you can see, we've got a 4.5 second reload with a food boost for 280 alpha, which is absolutely filthy. And we know there's Tyrans everywhere, essentially. And we're just being careful, because the Tyran naturally could absolutely trash us. There is the Tyran that gets spotted. We do have to be careful, because the Tyran can, if he rolls high enough, one-shot us, which, you know, is an extreme high roll for him, to be fair. Actually, I don't know if he can high roll enough to kill us like that. But maths is hard, right? But it's still, he would basically take away 99% of our hit points if he does hit us. So we do have to be careful. Basically, if we shoot one, we have to then pull back and not get done ourselves. So we get a nice shot there into the Tyran to shut down him, who was being attacked by other Tyran. I think our other Tyran must have hit him with HE there for 1300. That's dirty. Anyway, we managed to get the shutdown on the Tyran, which is nice. We're up to 2 kills with 3.7k damage. The Tusk is spotted at F7. And we're just, again, we're playing very, very careful, because we are a tank destroyer. Again, we can't, especially in the tier 10 game, we can't expect to be too aggressive. And also, like I say, the camo on this thing is filthy, so we want to keep things at range if we can do. The Tyran has just moved down the 8 line. The Tusk has followed him. So you know what I'm going to do? Screw that. I'm going to get away from those guys, because there's only 4 tanks left. We know where one of the heavy tanks because one heavy tank just got destroyed. We know where one of the heavy tanks is. It's down here on the B line. So what I want to do is get on top of this sand dune, and by doing that, I can possibly get shots into the rear of this heavy, and I can stay safe from the Tyran and friends. And here we are, we're behind the Scourge, who is 252 meters away, and we managed to get the shot in. He does spot us there, but yeah, we're 252 meters away. Our camo is 212, the effect of firing on our camo is enough to negate that. Maybe he's also got optics and stuff like that. But if we had a bush in front of us, he wouldn't have spotted us. Anyway, with him gone, we're now moving forward to see if we can find the rest of the enemy team. We get fortunate there that Tyran snaps the shot at us and misses, which again would have been a very bad time for us if he'd actually hit. But we managed to snap the shot into him. We're up to 4.3k damage, and we keep getting detected when we're poking. So it's something that we just got to be very careful of. I don't want to get shut down in this situation. So what I'm going to do is, because I was getting detected even behind the ridgeline there, I was thinking maybe the light tank is on the left. Maybe he's in their base on this little hill in front of me. And there he is, right there. Just because of purely because I was getting detected when I was behind the ridge for the 2 tank destroyers. It meant the only place I could think of that Tusk could possibly be is on their campy hill. And it is exactly where he was. We try and get a shot into his side there, but we miss. We are getting the spotting, though. Then the Jagdpanther 2 gets spotted from their base, and it's like, hello, friend. You were over at K7. You got here pretty quick. We're just being careful, and we do actually get unspotted here. So it's like, right, okay, Mr. Jagdpanther 2, I have all the pen in the world. I don't care about your armor, quite frankly, because my pen is just so good. We get a nice shot into him, which basically scares him off. I was coming over to try and get a shot into the Tyran and help Swindle out, but he shuts him down easily enough. We don't know where the Tusk is at this current point in time. He has just run away. We do know where the Jagdpanther 2 is still, though, naturally, because we got a shot at him. And we're just going to go back up Swindle and go after this guy, because he should be at a point where, you know, Swindle shoots him, I kill him, or I kill him, Swindle shoots him. Or, sorry, I shoot him, Swindle kills him, etc. Because he's on 602 hit points. But Swindle bounces, so we're just going to get one shot into him there. He ends up penning us again. It's like, well, okay, sir, I get to shoot you, but the Leopard 1 ends up shooting the Jagdpanther 2 down before we get to that point. So now, it's 6-1 on the scores. There's only 1 tank left on the enemy team. It is a Tusk. Now, we don't have any hit points left, so the Tusk is naturally going to kill us, no matter where he hits us, because it would just splash us. I mean, to be honest, he could probably hit the ground right next to me or underneath me and still kill me. Who knows? But we do have one thing. I mean, naturally, he has very, very good view range at 420 base, right? And if he pimps that out even more, he's going to have fantastic view range. But I also have fantastic camo, so I will likely spot him like he will spot me. But there's a possibility that if I take up the right position, I won't get spotted by him. So we're actually going to go clear out this A line, essentially, by sitting on top of the dune and seeing if he gets lit up. Because he's not spotted anywhere at the minute. I imagine he's probably at K1, but we don't know where he is realistically. And Swindle's going through the middle of the map. We are... Well, the reason I went to the top of that dune was to clear off the AB line, to make sure that I couldn't see him crossing up to the hills. And because I didn't see anything, we pretty much guessed that he's in the K1 region or in the sand dunes at the top. Because where else could he be? And there he is. He gets spotted, and we just managed to get there to get the shot in to shut down that Tusk. And we finished the game with the victory. 4 kills, 5.5k damage, nearly 822 assistance. The Brothers in Arms, the Confederate, the High Caliber, a first class medal for 2,159 base XP. That about sums it up. That nearly 2.2k base XP is not an ace tanker for the Panserjager. That really does sum it up for this tank and how absolutely bonkers it is. Because it is just such a damn nutty tank. It is so good at what it does that you can just exploit its camo so readily and absolutely shred tanks. And because you don't have to worry about your penetration, right? 262 penetration on the standard round is absolutely fantastic. And that means that you're going to pen everything you're ever going to face. And if you can't pen some of them, like some of the super heavy tanks, you can just load the 320 heat and you'll have a great time. The 1200 shell velocity on the standard round is also a thing of beauty as well. And it just leads to glorious, glorious results. So we're on to the second replay, and this second replay we are again in a tier 10 match, and we are on Thiepval Ridge. And like I say, this tank doesn't care about what tier it is. In fact, seeing tier 10s is like, lunch. More tanks, you know, more HP to farm, because it shreds it so fast. And yeah, here on Thiepval Ridge, you know what? I'm deciding, screw it, we're going to go after this T77. I thought, you know, I'm going to farm this T77, maybe not get unspotted, but to be honest, I hadn't counted on what the spawns were. I think at this point I was kind of like, hang on a minute, wait, they spawn bottom corner and top. Oh god, no, I've mucked up here with the spawns. So this is me not really paying attention to what the mode was and what the actual spawns were. So we ended up getting caught out and taking a hit from that T77, but he is gone because he also has that thing of, well, he just wandered into my whole team. But as you can see with my camo and my view range, we are getting assistance here by spotting things like the KV4. The only reason we got lit up there was because the Sheridan came in, which meant that we couldn't keep acting as a light tank, essentially, there as a scout to keep spotting for it. But the KV4 ended up getting shut down anyway, and we ended up with 1900 assistance there from that. Now, you can see, I'm having a bit of a physics thing here. I was like, come on, tank, get up this little ridge line. We were getting up it a minute ago, and thankfully we managed to take it at a different angle and get up. As you can see, the enemy team has poured down the JK, which means that we can get into a position to get shots at anything that are in the middle and try and get behind them. Because there doesn't seem to be too much along the one line. As you can see, we're in a good position here to get some shots into the VZ55. We shoot at the VZ55, and I was about to say we actually hit something there that wasn't spotted. So he must be like, thanks VZ, and it got spotted just as we fired the STG. We get noticed that there's a 268 version 5 on the hill at C2. And you know what? Not worried about him. He's pouring straight towards my team. So you know what? We're going to get into a position where I can try and get shots into him. Or sorry to say, shots into the tanks at G5. Because I will be behind them. So as you can see, we end up getting lit up. That was because the 268 version 5 YOLO'd out directly behind us at C3. Which means we get lit, which is a little bit awkward. I didn't want to get spotted here because I wanted to be able to start farming these guys without getting lit. But here we go. We are now unspotted. And we are spotting this WZ-11114 and the VZ-55. He gets tracked, which means that we tried to retrack him now or keep him tracked. And he actually gets retracked. And it's like, well, don't mind if I do. This guy's 392 meters away. He is never spotting me. We are keeping him pinned. And again, like I say, we are spotting these guys too. We are spotting them for my team, and I'm getting the shots in. We get a shot in to track the WZ-11114. And as you can see, this is a tier 9 heavy tank. We get the shot in to track him, and no matter where I hit this 1-4 on his front, I'm penning it, upper plate or lower plate. And we're just going to start farming him. Again, he cannot see me. There is no hope for this man. I can see him, he can't see me. But, well, fortunately enough for him, he finally gets unspotted. So we're going to pull forward to see if we can light him up. And there we go. We end up lighting him up. And we're just going to keep farming. And this is where this tank is so absolutely deadly. Then we spot an AT-15. And it's like, well, hello, Mr. AT-15. And because our penetration is so good, we can go straight through the upper plate of the AT-15. Its superstructure means absolutely nothing to us. And we shut him down. And we're up to 4,000 damage with 2.2k assistance, which is already an absolutely fantastic game for a tier 8 tank. But we're going to push it even higher right now. So we're going to go in and see if we can get the shutdown on this 111-1-4 and put ourselves in a position, because there's still a lot of the enemy team left, put ourselves in a position to shoot the things that are along the 9-0 line, because that's pretty much where they will be. The STG is there, but you know what, I want to get into position to shut down the 111-1-4, but he does actually get shut down, and the T69 gets lit up. We are spotting the 53 TP in the base as well, so let's say where our cap normally would be. And we get a shot into it. We actually get 2 shots into him before we get lit up, which was by the STG at G6, who poked out from behind the building. So we're just going to poke out and see if we can get some more shots at this guy. Again, he has a stock turret, which means we can actually go straight through the front of that stock turret of that 53 TP. And we realise that the T69 is up on top of that little hill, but because of the foliage around us and our ridiculous camo, we could actually shoot him there and not get spotted when he was 250 meters away. Again, camo being absolutely ridiculous. But now that T69's gone, we know the 53 TP is up front. He doesn't spot us there, which is absolutely nuts. I mean, he's stock, so I imagine he's got terrible view range. But we're up to 5.5k damage, 2.4k assistance. You know what? I want to get towards where this Draugen is on the ridgeline, and I can shoot the people in the ass where the AVRE is, which is my thinking. And I know with the undulations in the ridge, I can get hull down and not take hits as I progress too. So we end up getting unspotted, which is nice. Well, like I said, we are lighting up the AVRE as well. And now we're just trying to put some shots into this AVRE, which is an awkward target. We try and aim above the spaced armor, but we end up ricocheting. The 140 gets lit up. Well, we're just going to shoot the 140 because it's an easier target to hit, or should I say pen, than the AVRE is. We try and track the AVRE, but trying to track an AVRE from the front is a pain because generally you just hit the spaced armor and it gets absorbed. We get a nice shot into his side though, and then another shot into the side of his turret, and he gets shut down by the EBR 105. And we finish the game with an absolutely fantastic total for a tier 8 tank in a tier 10 game. Finished with the victory, 1 kill, 6.4k damage, nearly 3k assistance. The ace tank of the high caliber, the Confederate, it's basically, what, 9k combined? A little bit more than that, and nearly 2.4k base XP. A really great game for the Panserjager, which is it's a pretty OP tank destroyer, to be perfectly honest. But it's dirty amounts of fun. It is really ridiculously good, and when it comes on sale, pick it up. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!